Jada, you had a video that you wanted to show?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just gonna do a little introduction first. Hello, my name is Jada Batterina. I am in grade 4, and today I'm gonna be talking about coal mining and my great-great-grandfather and how they connect to Canadian history. The history of coal mining in Cape Breton started about 250 years ago. It shaped lots of Cape Breton's history by giving people jobs and providing a resource to heat their homes. In 1894, the government gave exclusive mining rights to the Dominion Coal Company, where my great-great-grandfather was a superintendent. Coal mining in Cape Breton connects to Canadian history because it was responsible for changing the economy from farming to factories in Eastern Canada. Coal is the fuel that runs the factories. Now I'm going to screen share my presentation. The amazing life of coal mining. Why I chose this topic. I chose this topic because I was really interested in my family. My mom told me about my great-great-grandfather, Alexander Silver McNeil. She told me that he was a miner and that he started as a trapper boy at age 13. He became a superintendent of 9 mines in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. As I researched about my great-great-grandfather, I found out a lot of things about coal mines, like what is a coal mine, trapper boys, and pit ponies. It is so cool that I have a connection to Canadian history through him. I hope you learned as much as I did in this presentation. Thank you. Coal mines in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Coal mining began in 1785 in Cape Breton as part of the Sydney mines. Hundreds of miners were given a job and housing. In 1873, miners were paid 65 cents to $1.50 per day. By 1903, the Dominion Coal Company was producing 3,250,000 tons per year from Miners Museum. By 1912, it was increased to 7 million tons per year. The coal mines provided 40% of Canadian coal. Underground coal mining ended in Nova Scotia in 2001. What is a coal mine? A coal mine is deep underground and very low. Sometimes you can't even stand up. Coal mines produce coal for warmth and fuel. Coal mines also provide a job, money, housing, and food. Because if you work down in the mine, you get a sheet that pays for your food and housing. Here's pictures inside the mine. Trapper boys. Trapper boys are an important part of a coal mine because they trap air that the miners breathe in. They're so deep that they need to trap the oxygen in the mine. Here's a picture of a trapper boy. See how his head's almost touching the ceiling? The trapper boy opens big doors that releases carbon dioxide that the miners can't breathe in or they won't survive. A trapper boy also lets the pit ponies go through the mine to deliver coal. Here's a picture of a trapper boy and a trapper door. Pit ponies. Pit ponies are horses that go down into the mine to collect coal. The pit ponies pull a wagon of coal with the driver steering. When the pit ponies come out of the coal mine, they go crazy because it was so dark in the coal mine. The pit ponies have to adjust to light, so they had to cover their eyes with a mask. My great-great-grandfather. His full name was Alexander Silver McNeil, but he was known as Alex S. McNeil. He was born in 1875 in English Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. He died in 1933 in New Waterford, Cape Breton. A man who had won the admiration and respect of thousands of people of every walk of life and every creed and nationality in Cape Breton County, quoted Grace Bay Gazette, 1933. Rarely in Cape Breton's history was such a tribute paid to a citizen as was bestowed to Alex S. Neal. Sydney Post, 1933. Over 3,000 people went to his funeral. He started as a trapper boy, then became a superintendent of 9 mines. A superintendent is basically a boss of a mine. He was respected by his community because he stood up for miners' rights. He was superintendent of the Dominion Coal and Steel Corporation. This is my artifact. I worked on my heritage project at Glenrye Norfolk School. I built a coal mine using cardboard, blue and white paper, hot glue, and some Lego figures. My artifact demonstrates the coal mines were deep under the ocean, for 98% of the coal in the Sydney coalfield was subsea. Nova Scotia Museum. These are my resources. Thank you.
It was such a good presentation, Jada.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll ask you a few questions if you don't mind. Firstly, I saw that you had some very nice primary sources in your presentation. May I ask why you chose those photos specifically out of all of the ones you must have found?
Well, I chose them because I was trying to find some that were from Cape Breton. So there was some there, and I wanted to show how like they were back then, not like right now.
Well, your grandfather was superintendent for mines in Cape Breton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think he was so well respected by the community?
I think he was so well respected because he stood up for the miners' rights. Some of them are like they weren't respected because the miners weren't respected because they were like kind of they didn't get lots of respect because like they were dirty and like they weren't didn't get enough like credit for what they did.
Yeah. There were also children down there, weren't they? Do you know how young trapper boys start?
I think like 10 maybe. They start really, really young. Yeah.
So your age, can you imagine being a trapper
Yeah,
boy down there?
it's really crazy.
Yeah. I just also want to ask, you said that the doors open to release carbon dioxide. How far down were they?
Like 300 meters kind of deep.
Wow.
And like sometimes 300 meters deep from the ocean floor. So they were like really
Oh, wow. And there were also ponies down there. Did the ponies get that deep?
Yeah. I'm not. They didn't go anywhere where they did explosions, but they had to carry the coal, so it was hard for them to like adjust.
Yeah. Do you think it was right for them to use ponies down there? Was that fair for the animals?
I don't really think it's fair for the animals. They could have invented like what they use now, but I guess then thinking they thought it was like kind of the only transportation.
Yeah. Do you know if they, because I've heard of like canaries in coal mines, do you know if they used any other animals other than the ponies?
Uh, no, I think they just use pit
That's good. And you said most of the mines, the term you used was subsea mines. Can you tell me a little bit more about those?
Subsea mines, I'm pretty sure are just like they're under the ocean, so they're more deeper than like regular mines that aren't, and they're usually under the ocean.
Yeah. Do you know why 98% of those mines were under the ocean? Is there a difference in the coal there?
Um, I'm not quite sure. I mean, it might be like a bit deeper for them, so they could get like more coal and um yeah.
Yeah. Did you know much about coal mines before this project? Especially because you have a very important family member in this history.
No, I didn't really know about them. I really only knew that my great grandfather worked in the mines.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, we never really talked.
Yeah. Has your perspective changed on the mines then since you've done so much research on them?
Yeah, like before, I really thought that it wasn't very good for the environment, but then I realized that men and boys risk their lives to produce this resource for
Yeah.
people to get heat.
You said that underground mines, they don't exist in Nova Scotia anymore, right? Do you know how the mining happens now?
Um, I think they use a hydraulic drill, like it's a really big drill, and to like dig the mines. So I'm not quite sure how they do it now. Like that's how they do it now. Some places, but
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that's a little bit better for the environment, or is the way that they did it before?
I think now is a bit better for the environment because I don't. They didn't have as much tools that they could use
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah, I'm glad they stopped sending ponies down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, your creative component, your model, that was very interesting. Where did that idea come from? The subsea mines?
Um, well, I think it was because most of the coal mines were down there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, what impact do you think your topic has made in Canadian history? Why should we learn about this?
I think we should learn about this because it's a part of yeah it's a part of Canadian history, and it was really important because it developed the economy because back then it would kind of
Mhm.
created like the community kind of because it gave jobs and food and housing kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what the little sheets that they got that paid for their food and housing? Do you know what those were called?
They're called, I'm pretty sure bob sheets,
Bob
uh,
sheets.
bobtail sheets, or somewhere around that. Those sheets you'd get very right now be very little pay, but it would pay for all their food and all their housing for like a week.
Yeah. So do they get paid and then they also get the Bob sheets, or is it one or the other?
I think you just get the sheet and you kind of like show it to like people who help
Mhm.
like the food markets and stuff, and they'd know that the coal mines and were paying for this.
Mhm. It's very interesting. Can you tell me a little bit more about your great grandfather? What mines did he work in?
He worked in the Dominion Coal Corporation. Yeah, he was a superintendent of 9 mines, and it was pretty cool that he was so respected that like 3 to 4 thousand people came to his funeral. They couldn't fit anyone in the church, and the trains that had go there, they had to add extra carts.
Oh, wow. And he worked his way up as a trapper boy, right?
Yeah, he was in the same kind of situation that I got one of my resources from, a
Mhm.
book called Pit Pony. And there was a boy, Willie, and his father got injured, and he had to go out from school and go to the mines.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Wow. Um, is there anything else? I'm seeing the messages. We should wrap up soon. Is there anything else you'd want to tell me that I haven't asked
Uh,
yet?
well, you can go down into the mines there, like the older mines that aren't working right now, and see how they worked back then. It's really cool. Um, my parents actually went there. It's really awesome, and also people came from like all over the world, like Italy, Poland, and Germany, uh, to work there. And some of the Nova Scotia descendants are like from those immigrants.
That's really cool. Do you know if the immigrant workers were treated any differently than locals?
No, I'm not quite sure about that. But I'm pretty sure they were respected the
Mhm.
same way.
Yeah. Have you ever been down to one of the mines?
No, just my parents.
Yeah. You want to go anytime soon? I
Uh,
think it'd be cool.
yeah, it would be cool. I'd like to see maybe the one that my great great grandfather worked in. That would be super cool.
Yeah, these are in Nova Scotia, right? Cape Breton?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing your project with us, Jada. You did amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.